Hi there. Welcome to Walks on the Beach with David today. So believe it or not, this is part of my therapy. I'll explain. A big part of this is following your intuition. And, part of your intuition are just paying attention to what you're craving, right? What are your cravings telling you? And for a long time, it was like, especially the past week or so, I've been like, I need to walk in the water. I need to walk in the water. I need to put my feet in the water, right? Well, it turns out this chemo, cisplatin, has heavy metals in it. And it's been revealed to me that from some other cancer survivors and whatnot that there's this, I know that there's this taste, excuse me, hold on. That is actually a good thing, believe it or not. It's weird, but I had an appointment yesterday, a consultation with the oncologist to kind of check up. It's been a little over a week since I started the chemo. And I'm actually scheduled to start radiation tomorrow evening. So had a really great meeting with consultation with the oncologist, and basically to assess whether or not we needed to dial back the chemo into smaller doses over the whole period, or to keep going with what we're planned, which is they have scheduled 4, but we may only need to do 2, which is really good news. And as you can see, I look pretty healthy. I feel pretty healthy, given all the shit that's going on. But that spitting I was doing is actually one of the ways that I'm getting rid of the cancer cells, the dead cancer cells and stuff. So every once in a while I gotta hawk a big white yuckiness, but better out than in, as the old lady said. So following the intuition, one of the ways that we move this energy is by coming here to the ocean. The lymphatic system needs to, because this lump in my throat is actually a swollen lymph node that's got active cancer cells in it. The lymphatic system, it doesn't have a pump, right, like the heart. So you've got to move in order to get it to move. And so, doing something simple as walking, moving around, gets the lymph going. But I'm doing 2 other things. One of the other compulsions after getting chemo, it's so funny because you get, the first thing everybody knows about is a nausea, right? Well, that nausea is actually your body trying to get rid of what it knows is not good for you. On the surface, it's trying to retch. It's trying to get that stuff out, and that's so. On the one hand, that's a good thing, but the downside is that you can't get rid of it that way. And so, I went 3 days. I did a water fast. I actually haven't puked yet. And I've wanted to, believe me, but I haven't actually puked, in part because for the first 3 days after the chemo, I didn't do, I did a water fast. I didn't give it any ammunition, so to speak. And then I did another day where I didn't eat, and I didn't actually take any medication other than what's already in me, the chemo. And that weakened me. It stopped peristalsis as well. But the upside was that it, I didn't have to go through that, lots of vomiting part. So this may be a little too graphic for people, but I'm keeping a record. That's what this is about. So, excuse. So, what I'm doing here, I'm not just walking. I'm walking in the shallows of the ocean, and this draws the metals out of the bottoms of my feet, believe it or not. It's like taking one of those one of those baths, one of those foot baths. This is like the natural way of taking a foot bath. And so I'll be doing this on a regular basis, hopefully as many days as I can. I have no idea what the effects of the radiation is going to be, other than to make it more difficult to eat in the coming weeks. So at this point, I'm an eating machine. I've got to take on as many calories as I can in the coming days before I can't take food in anymore because of the radiation of my neck. Excuse me. This is a good thing that I'm coughing, because I'm feeling like there's a thing that's got to come out. So the other thing that I'm, my intuition, it was, in the days following the first chemo treatment, and the reason I'm standing here today is because they actually had another chemo infusion scheduled for today, and I didn't find out till yesterday. I was all prepared for, girding my loins for taking on another 200 milligrams of this poison today. But when I went to the oncologist yesterday, she said, "Oh no, we've rescheduled that till March 4th. Hell, friggin' Luya! So I knew I'd be out here on the beach today, just taking it easy, getting some vitality going. Excuse me. So yeah, lots of coughing and spitting, folks. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Very glad to be coughing and spitting, and walking and standing and smiling and breathing and shit. So in the days right after the first infusion, I felt this like compulsion to get in water and excuse me, to take a bath, to just soak in a bathtub. And I was really lucky. I stayed at I visited my friend Crystal, and she actually on Saturday she made a bath for me. It was really cool, and that was it felt like mana, But then my friend, where I'm staying at Rita's house, she's got she just has a shower, right? There's room for a bath, but it's just a shower. So I've actually felt myself. I found myself in her shower, like redesigning her friggin' shower, to make it into a bath. And all these schemes to make a temporary shower and stuff. And I told her about it, and she said, "I ordered you a bathtub." She got like one of those fold-up bathtub things on the internet, and we tried it one day, but it was the wrong. It was like you had to sit up. I need to lie down and be immersed. And so that version of it came yesterday, and when I'm done off for this, I'm gonna go over and And so the point of that, the reason I went into that whole thing is because, moving this cancer, the dead cells and stuff, moving it out of the lymph. One of the ways of doing that is through the skin. So the intuition of I got to get into water. My body's telling me I need to cleanse. I need to cleanse. Yeah, that's how we do it, right? So I found out yesterday during the consult that I'll be that this specific what do you call it? Chemo, cisplatin, damages your DNA. So obviously when this thing is over, I've got a lot of cleansing and repair to do. But the good thing is I should be alive to friggin' do it. So there's that. So at this point, just to give you an idea of where I'm at, I'm kind of in a race to take in as many calories as I can before I can't take in food anymore, according to the because of the radiation. Well, they tell me it dries up your salivary glands, and it fries your taste buds, and people get like feeding tubes put in at that stage. I'm hoping not to have to do that, and that's my hedge is, luckily for me, I've spent years living a kind of a semi-ascetic lifestyle, so I know how to friggin' fast, and to go through days without eating and stuff like that. So, but we want to save that until it's actually unavoidable. If we can avoid that, of course, that would be great. So I'm doing a couple of other things to kind of fortify my system in terms of nutrients and whatnot, before that even becomes an issue. So I'm working my plan, and from my consultation with the oncologist yesterday, I think we are excuse me, still in there, still trying to work itself out. I think we're in the optimum position anybody could be at any age or weight or whatever to make it through this at this point. But it does feel like, there's this I'm excuse me, I'm racing an onrushing train. I'm like in this car and I'm trying to cross in front of that train. And I think we're going to make it. But I had a reminder, I think it was yesterday or the day before, my friend Floppy from Everybody's Kitchen posted a memoriam of this brother who, like me, was diagnosed a couple of months ago with cancer and given a positive prognosis. They expected him to pull through. And excuse me a sec. And he didn't make it. And as soon as I saw the picture, I could tell why. Damn it. I knew that he probably didn't do them eat enough. And it's like, once upon a time I worked rock and roll shows, building stages and stuff. And it's some of the hardest work I ever did. We'd work like 15 to 18 hours a day building stages and stadium shows. And at that time, it's like I could tell when I ate a hamburger or a steak or whatever it was, and I had to, it's like you had to eat a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of protein in order to be able to do this kind of work, And I could tell, like, this piece of meat would get this much work done, and I feel like I'm in that same place right now where it's like I'm really closely monitoring my weight and, how many calories I'm eating, and not in terms of numbers, just in terms of like, okay, right now I'm eating 3 to 4 times a day. Between, trying to do smoothies, I had like 3 smoothies this morning, fruit smoothies. And, whether or not I can taste it or not, because I've lost, because the cancer went onto the tongue, I've lost the ability to, I've lost most savory, basically. I, can't really taste much in terms of savory, but I can taste sweet and sour and bitter, and not that you really want to be eating bitter, but yeah, so anyway, blah blah blah. I'll probably do another one of these through the weekend or thereafter, after I do the radiation, start the radiation. They tell me they've got to do another scan. There we go. I think that was it. And another thing that's going on, I'm reminded by those guys walking really close to me, is I'm really sensitive to smells and this weird thing about the metal, right? It's like now I can't. What happens is the metal, when I eat something that has metal exposure to it, right? It draws the metal in my body to my nose and mouth. So the food will taste this sickening metal taste that makes me want to retch. So solutions have been to eat with plastic or wooden utensils or stainless steel. Cook in glass or stainless steel. Can't use cast iron or anything like that. Or eat food out of cans, or water that's been in metal containers, and yeah, it's all an education, and complex environments, like with a lot of people, and I'm just really sensitive right now. So we'll just see how that goes in the future. Yep, how that plays out. I kind of like the sensitivity, I gotta tell you. Being this aware is really fun. So, found out, right? Those first 3 days after the chemo, they prescribed this specific drug. It's called it's called, what is it? Dexamethasone. And I thought it was supposed to amplify. The chemo, but it turns out it was supposed to be for anti-nausea, right? And so I took it because I thought it was, supposed to be amplifying the chemo. And then, come to find out, I'm one of the small percentage of people that have like a adverse reaction to that stuff. That's why I was telling you I was feeling kind of high, and it was messing with my lucid dreaming, and yeah, so we won't be doing any more of that stuff. But we are doing this the anti-nausea drug. What is it? Sulfrin? Yeah, 3 times a day for that stuff, and that's I'm making it possible for me to eat. because, my natural thing is anything, if I were to just try to drink water, or I just want to gag, basically. It's like, so I need to kind of psychologically work my way through it, and this, I got this other stuff, this homeopathic stuff that my friend Snooky, who's a cancer survivor, recommended. It's called Nux Vomica. I have that as a backup. I'm going to just take a moment and give another recap for anybody, so we don't even have to go into this. But just so you know, as often happens, there is, whenever anybody sees cancer on Facebook, immediately they go into some sort of like lobbying for you to give to use cannabis in some way, shape, or form. Okay. This specific cancer that I have, right? It's one of the top. It's like the 6th most popular cancers on the planet, right? Is the only cancer so far that's found to actually, if you have THC in your blood and you have this cancer, it will accelerate the cancer growth by up to 30 to 50%. And I did a pretty, serious analysis of the 4 periods in the past year when I took in THC. And immediately, and in the coming days after those periods, I experienced acceleration in cancer growth. So I can't even do, I can't use any THC-based products for even the nausea for this. I might be able to do some CBD, but part of me doesn't even want to friggin' try that. You know what I'm saying? So while like I actually was in communication with a brother this morning who has a similar cancer, but it's not the same thing. And he's he's the one that recommended he's one of the people that was recommending in my last live video. He's one of the ones that was recommending RSO, Rick Simpson oil. And I fully understand why he was doing that, because he's been diagnosed for over a year, and he said it's been kicking that cancer's butt. And I say, that's wonderful. It's, go with it. But if one of the first things I did, the first weekend after I was diagnosed on Friday, on Saturday night, I started the RSO protocols, 1,000 milligrams a day. I did it for a couple of days, took a couple of days off, did it the next weekend for 3 days. If I continued that protocol, I would be dead right now. And thinking that I was doing the right thing. Thinking like, why is this happening? It wouldn't make any sense. So, I understand that if you're a surgeon, you want to use your scalpel. If you're a carpenter, you want to use your hammer. If you're an RSO or marijuana or cannabis activist or whatever, you think that cannabis is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I'm here to tell you, not for everything and everyone in every situation. And I'm not advocating, I'm just saying that I don't give a fuck about the rest of the world in this regard right now. All my concern is what is going to keep me off of the friggin' wall at the temple at Burning Man. I do not want to be on that fucking wall this year. Thank you very much. As one of those smiling faces in the prime of life. Oh, he was so beautiful. No. When it's unnecessary, So anyway, that's my take on the whole situation, and for what it's worth. And anybody that is finding any relief from cannabis as a solution in this situation, hell freaking hallelujah to you, bro. Do what you got to do, follow your intuition, follow your inner calling, Don't let anybody tell you what you should or shouldn't do, I'm, like in this situation, I'm the final arbiter, I don't lose sovereignty just because I'm in this situation. In fact, this is the time to exercise one's sovereignty. I have to be my advocate. If in a couple of weeks, it becomes too much to do either one of these, the chemo or the radiation, it's up to me. I can say stop. I can walk away. But at this stage, if I choose to do that, it'll only be because it's the right thing for me to do, And I don't, whatever anybody else's trip is, it's their trip, But right now, I know that this chemo is working. The fact that I've been able to stand here and talk all this length of time is a testament to it. This throat thing, the lymph node, a week ago, the day I started chemo, it was a jumbo-sized egg, and now it's probably just a little smaller than a golf ball. Okay, so check this. When you go to your oncologist and they say, open your mouth, let me take a look. And you open your mouth, and they put their little flashlight up in there, and they take a look, and you look at their face, and they say, wow. Then you know that what's happening is what should be happening. You know what I'm saying? And so I know, we know that ideally it would have been good to start the chemo at the same time as the radiation, but it's actually a really good thing that we didn't, because they weren't expecting the chemo to do much more than amplify the radiation, and the amount of retraction, shrinkage that's happened in the past week just from the chemo alone has really, opened some eyes in that world right now. So like I said, I think that, and their assessment as well, is that we're in perfect shape to, going forward from here, and that's exactly how I feel. So, in case you were wondering, and it is turned into a magnificent day out here. I'm gonna branch out a little bit, and when I got here, it was a little chilly, a little windy, but now it's like it's got to be pushing 80. So I might have to take the shirt off or two. Feels so wonderful. Thanks for being here for my walks on the beach. Let's take another look around. Yeah, I want to say one more thing. Okay, so a month ago, I don't know if I was on social media or watching television or something, but somebody said something about, when was the last time you cried tears of joy? And when I thought about it, I realized that I have never cried tears of joy, in my life, right? And I wondered what that would be like. So Sunday mornings are kind of challenging because I've got to do this, there's a lot. I've been sedentary all night, and they're very challenging. So it's definitely the most challenging time in terms of nausea management, right? So if I take a drink of water, I've got to lie down for a while till I get through it. And so I was lying down, getting through it, and I pulled up my phone, and I happened onto Facebook, and I looked at, I started to read all the comments of people. Hold on. Well, that was a good one. I started to read all the comments of the people from I guess some video that I did on over the weekend, and it brought me to tears. It brought me to tears because one of the things about all this stuff I'm going through is sensitivity, right? I can really feel into everything, and instead of like, somebody saying I love you, and you just kind of like, yeah, right. I just I let myself feel it, and I just found myself crying through tears of joy for the first time in my life, because I felt all of you and all the love of all these people from all over the friggin' world taking a moment to just say, David, I love you. I'm here for you. I feel you. You're not alone. I see you. All this stuff. And it was magnificent. It's one of the best moments of my life, to just be sitting there weeping, reading all this wonderful love stuff from everybody and their uncle. It was just so. That alone, no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. I can't read all this stuff while I'm bellowing or trying to talk over the water here. I'll get at it when I'm done. Hey, Kathy. Hold on. In case you're just tuning in, every time I cough, it's a good thing. I'm coughing it out, getting it out. And so thanks for watching, and thanks for giving a hoot, and I hoot you back. And yeah, there's just so many people that I'd just be standing here shouting out all friggin' day, which I may someday, but right now I'm actually feeling that might be a good idea to get something to drink and sit down for a while. So we're gonna do the love theme, my favorite part, America, world. All right, so this is me beaming love at you. Simple pleasures, right? Oh my goodness. Oh, that feels so wonderful. Okay, so remember, we love you.